could you start just by telling us your names and your connection to the Goose Festival?
Sure. My name is Joanne Moore.
And I'm Kim Zumbrink.
I'm Juliet Michelle. And
I'm Sarah Slider.
I'm Alex Best.
All right, my name is Grace Billings Jones.
Yeah, so my name is Toby Hutchins.
The train to stop in Fennville again, because it had at one time been a depot and a train stop, and it was very helpful for the community to have that train stop because people would come up from Chicago, St. Louis, other places for the summer, kind of commute back and forth. And so we had the band down at the train stop, what had been the train depot area that had been torn down. So the train had agreed to stop, and when they stopped, we were anticipating all these people from Chicago. We're waiting for this big crowd to get off the train. It pulls up, stops, and it lets people off on the other side of the tracks where we weren't, over by the hotel. So we're all over on the other side. The train pulls away, and there's one man that got off the train. Other thing, have you ever heard of Arnold Nelson?
That's the name. I couldn't think of that name.
Have you heard of him? Never? Aw. So Arnold was the bachelor from Chicago, and he was coming to see his mom, who lived in Pullman. That was the only reason he was really coming. He wasn't really anticipating this, but we kind of made a folk hero out of Arnold. A lot of people, and back then we had a newspaper. You know, that's changed too. We had the Fennville Herald, and that was run by Cliff Payne, yeah, and Cliff was on our committee, and he was a big promoter. He loved promotion. That was something that he had, so he helped with, you know, getting us these audiences like the Today Show, the Tonight Show, which the Tonight Show, Johnny Carson, you don't know probably even who that is anymore, but it was like Jimmy Fallon would be today, you know, a late show like that.
Throughout the past 10 years or so at Fennville, for the Goose Fest 5K, we helped make the course, and then our athletes just typically run it. And then for the Gosling Run, we've taken a more active approach, and we have our high school athletes volunteer, provide some support for our younger runners, and just be there, provide them that encouragement to get through the finish line and give our kids a chance to be successful. We found that it's more beneficial for us to be kind of part of the community involvement. The rest of the community is here celebrating, enjoying some good time in the fall season, and it's more beneficial for us to be around the community. The community gets to see us, we get to go do more Goose Festival activities. It's just good for all of us. Throughout the past 10 years or so at Fennville, for the Goose Fest 5K, we helped make the course, and then hard to plan out the course, just making sure it's accurate. It became a little more difficult in the past couple years when we added us going onto the track, but it's really not that hard to plan out a course.
Polled on social media, what would you like to see come back to the Goose Fest? And we had a few people that said, hey, maybe the trolley, you know, visits out to the Todd farm. A train stop has been discussed as well.
that's a little harder.
That's a lot harder.
They are bringing some of it back this year.
Oh, yeah.
One of the fun things was twice around the block for the parade.
Because it was so small to begin with.
So we decided to go twice, and everybody would laugh, of course, when it came back through again for the second time, and that made it fun.
That used to be popular, and people always ask about is bingo, or at times it's been goose poop bingo.
Ah, yes, Goose Poop
And
bingo.
people always ask about where's bingo, and one thing we always try to find is somebody to run bingo. So usually when something is missing, it's because for a while somebody ran it, or somebody was in charge of it, or somebody was like, this is my thing. And then if that person doesn't find somebody to like hand it off to, then it disappears, and then it's hard to get somebody else to pick it back up.
What is your favorite part of the Goose Festival?
My favorite thing about the Goose Festival, as a younger student or like a younger kid, like I feel like the food, the rides, like all that kind of stuff. As an adult, I feel like the opportunity to just like connect with like some of my friends who will still come back like just for the Goose Festival, who maybe live like 30 minutes to an hour away. I found that that's the part that I enjoy the most now.
The train,
The train, yeah, having him get off on the opposite side.
the whole Arnold Nelson thing was just,
And then
A
to,
lot
to
of fun.
build it from there,
yeah.
you know.
I mean, it was hilarious. We're all standing on the one
Waiting
side
for
and they
him.
pull away and here's one guy. And that got written up in the Chicago Tribune. That was what was in the Chicago Tribune was this.
Goose Fest. Favorite part is definitely the Gosling run. Get seeing the little kids go out there and run, seeing the whole entire community come out to support them, and also selfishly seeing our cross-country athletes going and mentoring them and encouraging them through the race.
One of the big memories, seeing the band, having the jazz band play at the Goose Festival, taking Miss Fennville, we went to Bangor by car and then rode the train back, and she got off and the band was there to play.
Yeah, a lot of Gosling runs. I have a lot of great memories and pictures. We had one of my stepsister brought her son, who's an awesome runner, and he is not a Fennville native, but they're up in Grand Rapids, and he came in and just cleaned up.
Yes, he
and
did.
Won by like a long shot, and he's like, "See everybody," and we're like.
We'd just like to say thank you to Kim Zumbrick, Joanne Moore, Katie Beamer, Sarah Slider, Juliet Michelle, Joyce Jones, Alex Bess, and Toby Hutchins.